You're very welcome, everyone, this afternoon, and thank you for agreeing to participate in our discussions today. Maybe before we start, I could just ask people to briefly introduce themselves, how long they've been here and whereabouts you live in Northern Ireland, and what you're up to at the moment. Al, can we start with you?
Hello, my name is Ala Al-Bawab, and I'm a public services interpreter at the moment. I first came to Northern Ireland in 2000 or 2001, I think. And I've been here on and off throughout this time. Thank you.
Salwa.
My name is Salwa, and I'm originally from Yemen. I've been living here in Belfast for almost more than 4 years, and I am a human rights activist and professional design, professional also photographer, and I've been working with some trainings, and I've been a part of their program.
My name is Riham Abdel Karim. I'm a Palestinian journalist, and I moved to Northern Ireland 3 years ago. I'm based in Belfast now. Yeah.
You've got Munadel back. You got cut off in your prime, Munadel.
Yeah, my name is Munadel Bazara. I'm from Syria. I'm a refugee. I came to Northern Ireland 2018. I lived in Derry. I'm English language. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Demola, the 21st century comment, you're mute.
Oh, sorry. My name is Demola Bolajoko. I'm from Nigeria. I live in Belfast since 2018. I've been I was in Dublin before I came here as far back as 99. I work here with Home Plus, and I work with our women's group for 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all, as I say again, for joining us. We haven't got a lot of time, so I want to cut directly to the conversation. And I'm just wondering if people would like to say a little bit about how they have felt being involved with the DARE program. Has helped you gain an understanding of the place you've come to live, and whether it's helped you get a sense of understanding and belonging. Maybe Al, you'd want to start?
Yeah, sure. I enjoyed being part of the DARE project. I felt it was a great opportunity to network with other BME community members who face the same issues and challenges. It was really helpful to have you, Leah, as our instructor and facilitator, as she is from an immigrant minority herself. She knows and understands the issues of being a migrant and a minority. I enjoyed listening and reflecting upon all the different points of view, all my colleagues and team members who came from different diverse backgrounds. Generally speaking, this is one of the most important steps towards multicultural societies and coexistence and acceptance, and I believe so.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else like to comment about their own experience?
مناضل، السؤال الاول اللي احنا مطلوب منا تجاوبه انه كيف حسيت برنامج دير اللي انت كنت جزء منه اللي شاركت فيه؟ هل ساعدك انك تفهم اكثر، تعرف اكثر عن طبيعه البلد، سواء في فهم بعض في الامور اللي بتتعلق بالمجتمع اللي انت عايش فيه، وكمان في الامور اللي بتتعلق بالاندماج المجتمعي او الانخراط في هالمجتمع؟
أنا كتير استمتعت ببرنامج دير، إنه فهمت أكثر المجتمع هون، كيف تركيبة المجتمع، على شو مؤسسة، كيف متعايشين مشان اقدر انا اتعايش معهم. فكثير كنت مستمتع معهم.
Monadel enjoyed the DARE program a lot. He enjoyed it a lot because it was his way in to this community, into living, into understanding, having a good knowledge of how this society is built up, the infrastructure of the society. So he really enjoyed this program.
And you also undertook the program, Rehan. How did you find things?
When I joined the course, I found it really helpful and enriching, not only because you get to understand the community in Northern Ireland and see the differences and the conflicts and the background and the history of Northern Ireland, not only to understand what are you going to face in the near future. You're going to have a great understanding of this tunnel and the light at the end of the tunnel. You are building up networks, and also it is time where you are starting a new life. In this time, we all suffer from homesick and the need of people we love, we cherish, we like to spend time with. So it wasn't only about understanding, about making good relations. It was like, I think, the start of a new life for everyone, and a time where everybody start bonding, integrating from the first moment they joined this course. So I really loved it. I made a lot of friendship relations, and still, and I think it's very important to keep going in these programs to help people, especially vulnerable people and newcomers to Northern Ireland.
Their program has been, I would say, fantastic, and if there's any other word, and it's an eye opener. I have lived in Dublin for over 20 years, and what I got to know when I came to Belfast, it's a huge thing, you know, knowing the culture, the values, and knowing and diversities about other communities around you, and knowing the history, especially, it was a great thing, and the teacher was great in explaining, and despite the fact that she is also from a minority background as well, and she was able to enlighten us a lot about the society around us, about understanding the cultural values, understanding, knowing the history of Northern Ireland and the cross-border as well. And again, the teamwork, the breaking up into different categories, we're learning from each other was numerous, and I was really, really privileged to be part of that group.
It's really good to hear this, because obviously one of the key things of the DARE project was to begin to help build coherence and an understanding of what it's like to live in Northern Ireland. And also, this is particularly important in the conference symposium today, because really what we're trying to do is we're trying to help shift Northern Ireland going forward, build this culture of peace, prosperity, compassion. And it's important that we understand Northern Ireland as the landscape has changed, and the diversity and the ethnicity has changed, which is, to be perfectly honest, relatively new for us, having emerged from the troubles just over 30 years ago. And you all obviously are finding your place, are making already valuable contributions. I'm just wondering, going forward and trying to think of Northern Ireland, so 10 years, 15 years time, you know, how do you see yourselves now making contributions to constructing that peaceful, thriving place that we'll all share?
If we put it into two simple words, I think the best two words would fit is acceptance and understanding. If we accept each other, no matter where we're coming from, no matter what religion do we belong to, no matter which country we're coming from. I think this is very important. If we accept each other, it is the first step. And then if we want to create a multicultural, beautiful, diverse community, I think we need to keep a space for everyone. And to keep that space secured, we need to understand. So I think if we want to see Northern Ireland in 10 years develop like these diverse, successful cities, we need to understand and we need to accept the differences and to focus on how to make the community multicultural, developed.
Can I pick up something and perhaps you could translate or interpret for Manadel, because I've heard him talk about a lot in conversations about the importance of work, the work ethic, and being given opportunities to work. And I wonder, would he comment on how he thinks we can create opportunities.
يعني بعتقد نحن حكينا بهذا الموضوع كثير، بس أنا هلا بدي أقول شغلة جديدة. اللي أنا لاحظ هلا، أنا بالنسبة لي صار لي 3 سنين هون، بس أنا بعتبر حالي عمليا سنة واحدة كان فيها كوفيد، وسنة لبين ما تأقلمنا على الوضع، وسنة عمليا أنا نزلت على الشارع وصرت أفهم ثقافة هذا المجتمع. عرفت كيف؟ وكيف أنا لازم أقدر أكون فعال بهذا البلد. أولا المجتمع المحلي هون المفروض يكون في عندهم برامج لاستقبال وافدين جدد، يعني لازم يفتحوا آفاق لغير مجتمعات لحتى هذا المجتمع ينفتح. يعني المجتمع الإيرلندي هون بإيرلندا الشمالية اللي باخذ أنا بوجهة نظري هو مجتمع منغلق على حاله. المفروض إنه يكون في عندهم خطط لاستقبال أو لفهم غير مجتمعات، غير ثقافات. تمام.
For Manadel, he's been here for 3 years, but he considers it as 1 year, because a year of resettlement, another year of COVID-19, and the third year is the year where he needed to step down to the street to have a look, to learn more about the community. And he thinks that it's crucial, if we want to speak about the proposal, the work proposal, he said, we spoke about it a lot, but I would like to add another point on top of that. If we want to move on, we need to put time frames. The government need to put time frames for programs to encourage those people to work and to find a suitable placement for them in the job market.
For me, I think understanding each other's cultural values and tradition, creating community activities, like when you have a community of different ethnic groups, different backgrounds, and they're having activities maybe in a community center, they get to know each other more, and there is more interaction in getting to know one another and accepting each other. Because to be realistic, coming into a country, it's even back in Africa, it's always difficult to accept one another until you have a bond, a relationship together. And if we can have a relationship within one another, we will definitely move forward. And talking about jobs, for jobs, I know there's a language barrier, which is one of the main things with foreigners in a country where it's a second language. Yes, and I know that the women are doing more of studying than the men, because I work with women, and most of their husbands don't have this opportunity of having free English classes, or there's an organization organizing an English class for them. Like the women group that we have about 5 different English classes for them, and you can fit in from the beginners, from the basic to the intermediate. And if there is more of this, it will also help. The more we interact, the more we get to know each other's cultures and traditions, and we are able to accept one another. I believe that there will be growth and there will be peace among us. And there is an initiative which I know about in the Kunzwara, the housing as well. Maybe when they start building house, I know that there are some locations that there are some certain people that can live there or not. And if we have more housing, and it is not, they are mixed, whether the Protestant, the Catholic, the BMI, in the same community areas, they will have community bond. Like where I live, we have different backgrounds from different, and I am the only Black person, and I so much love, there's so much peace because we do a lot of activities, cooking classes, flowering arrangements, yoga, and many things. And this is the community. And it is an example of a community being strong. We both have Catholic, we have Protestant. I am a Black minority. And I believe that if the housing section can bring people from different backgrounds together and their children grow up together, there will be peace. So.
Thank you. Salwa.
Yes. What would I like to contribute to make Northern Ireland successful and peaceful place to live? I think for me is to communicate positively with the community to enhance its acceptance of immigrants and remove social concerns about them, and helping other refugees integrate well into the culture of Northern Ireland. Also to participating in various charitable social activities to serve the community, and such as working as a volunteer in what leads to change the community in building and to make a change.
I believe in living by example. I liked Reham's usage of the word acceptance. I think that's one of the first and most important steps. Personally, I think focusing on coexistence is a safer option than talking about integration and assimilation. That might threaten people's identity in one way or another if they are comfortable with it. Obviously, nobody wants to lose their personal identity. They want it to naturally evolve through personal choices and opportunities. So accepting the other is the most important step. I would call it coexistence because, traditionally I come from a classically or historically multicultural and multi-faith society. So I feel I have a lot to offer Northern Ireland in the sense that to remind people that this binary conflict is, we can go beyond it and not just accept one other, so to speak, but accept every other. Anyway, and that we need to emphasize that accepting the other doesn't mean losing your own identity. It doesn't mean that at all. I think once people understand that and they don't feel threatened by the other, they would share their culture from a more friendly or amicable position rather than a challenging in your face kind of way. Yeah, so I think coexistence is important. It's important that people are proud of their identity, they're proud of their culture, that they feel safe, that they can express it and show it without being threatened on any level. And once that happens, I think we can move forward towards a multicultural and multi-faith society.
COVID-19 year was a very, very great example to what we all suffered from, the isolation, feeling that we've been left alone, a lot of anxiety, a lot of mental issues. So imagine how it feels like if we stay isolated in this world. And to do that, I think the work plan or the work proposal is very important. I don't think it's a matter only of what we've been offered or the lack of language like we spoke. We can all speak English on different levels. Some people would just get the alphabetical, but yet they can work. We can't say because the law say you need to have skills in English. Unless you don't have a great skill in English, you're not able to work. And they give them the Cambridge curriculum for people who are sometimes illiterate. This is not fair. There are people who can work in restaurants, in nail salons, or in spas, and do not talk much to the people. They need to do certain jobs. We can let them volunteer for specific hours. They can practice their English. They can integrate, and I can accept them, and you can accept me. And here, when the relation starts, you tell me a little about you tell me a little about your culture. I tell you a little about my identity. Like Dumola said, we need to have this connection face to face. We need to see our body language. We need to listen to our stories because everyone has a story to tell. We can't deny that. So there is a lot to be done. There is a lot of things to make our community beautiful, not only verbally, but physically. We need to see those people in labor market, in restaurants, cooking, doing, I don't know, anything, but not just to label them in how do I say that? To just put them in the corner and say, learn English forever.
Maybe I want to re-say the concept that I mentioned in the last session about how to break down the barriers. It's through the establishing a curriculum in the schools. Yeah, that you know, about it will help accepting each other and respecting each other, opening their minds, encouraging them to open horizons of knowledge for different cultures in the world, and to make them feel proud to have, you know, friends from different religions, from different nationalities, yeah, from different like nationalities. Whatever we work on changing the way of thinking of the current generation, it is for the current situation only, but the work is on the new generation, is for the future generation. It's about the curriculum, with what they teach in schools. I think that's a big thing that we have to be under consideration. Thank you.
And so we're coming to the end of our time together, and I'm certainly hearing clearly a sense that we need to build opportunities that allow people to continue to get to know each other, communicate, share, celebrate, and through that, by way of that, we will reach acceptance, existence, that people need an opportunity to feel valued, to be able to work, to be able to get themselves in a position where they can work. We need to share our housing. We need to have something in our schools that help people get to know more about each other's cultures and what brings us to a commonality as well as a difference. So I think these are very rich things, and I know, Al, maybe just before we finish, you want to say something briefly about mental health issues?
Yes, I work a lot with patients and with departments in counseling, and it seems that when it comes to the refugees, a lot of people suffer from PTSD. We have to take that into consideration because PTSD, some of the issues with it is lack of concentration, low short-term memory. They might have physical barriers to learning the language as quickly as everybody else because of that. And to make the thing even worse, a lot of people, I wouldn't generalize completely, but it remains to be a taboo or a stigma of a sort for some people to go to mental health and discuss it and accept it even. A lot of people don't even accept it, they don't talk about it, and even if they do accept it, they keep it a secret. They can't own it. So this is causing an issue in terms of learning. Some people need help on the mental level so that they can focus more on what they need to do to get on with their lives, because it's stopping them in a way, and a lot of people feel isolated because of that. And it seems that there are organizations that are starting to reach out, but we need to do a lot more work around that subject, I believe.
And that trauma is actually quite familiar to us as well in Northern Ireland because of our history and because to one extent or another, people have still intergenerational trauma, and
Yes.
it takes a long time for people to overcome that.
Yes, I'd like to comment on that as well. I'd love it if it was, it is my understanding that because of the historical conflict in Northern Ireland, some counselling offices get specific funding for that. Now they are seeing the refugees on a one-time basis. And then citing that they can't go on because that funding is specifically related to Northern Irish conflict. The statement is not open. The people that have been in conflict, it has to be an open-ended conflict so that people can continue their mental health sessions.
Sure. Listen, we could go on talking for another hour or so, but I need to draw to a close. But thank you all very much for your participation, for your thoughts, and what I would say to the audience and to particularly members of our government, that we would love an opportunity, and you would love the opportunity to continue these conversations and to maybe have some say and some influence in how policy and practice is going to be developed over the next number of years. And I think the programme for government allows us that opportunity. So we will follow up with this and sort of get some more dialogues organised. So listen, thank you very much all for your time and for your contributions. Thank you.